Hello everyone. Welcome to AWS training by Unogeeks. Before we start doing hands-on exercises in AWS, I just want to spend few minutes and talk about what exactly the cloud computing is. So you might have heard about this term cloud computing, and you might have heard that yes, a lot of firms across the globe are moving into cloud. And when all of them are doing it or moving their infrastructure to the cloud or moving to the cloud, there must be some genuine reasons or genuine advantages that the firms might be getting by moving into the cloud. So in this video, I'll just talk about what cloud computing is. So I'll briefly explain what it is all about, and we'll talk about key advantages of cloud computing. Why is it that all the firms across the globe, or most of them in fact, are moving into cloud? What are the advantages they get by doing that? And what are the cloud computing models that are available in today's market? So yeah, if you've got three models, we'll talk about them in detail, and we'll also talk about the deployment models. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So what exactly is cloud computing? It is an on-demand delivery of IT resources, and what does that IT resources mean? It could be compute power, it could be database, the database is on the cloud. It could be a storage that you need for your applications. So any IT resource, if you need an on-demand delivery of it over the internet, and with an option of a pay as you go pricing. And what this means is you only pay for what you use. Okay, so you don't at the beginning of the month say that I'm committed to pay this much amount. You pay only the amount that you use. Okay, so cloud computing in simpler terms is this: it is an on-demand delivery of IT resources, be it a compute power, storage, or a database power over the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. And what this translates to for companies is, so if I'm running a company, say I have say a business in say 30 or 40 countries, and the standard way the standard way IT infrastructure was maintained in the past few decades was, it used to work like this. So the clients used to, or the customers used to buy the required servers. So they used to maintain the physical data centers and the servers on premise, and they will, and the companies have to buy them, own them, and they have to maintain the infrastructure on the premises of the client. So instead of doing all of this with a cloud computing in picture now, instead of clients buying, owning, and maintaining their own physical data centers and servers, customers can access those services. So if they need a compute power, all they have to do is sign up for an AWS account, go into the EC2 service, Elastic Compute Cloud, and you can launch whatever services you want, or whatever servers you want in there. You can launch as many servers as you want, and you could launch with whatever capacity you need and the configuration you need, and you can launch them on the fly with the help of automated scripts as well. So what it all boils down to is, yeah, I don't need to care. I don't need to buy, own, and maintain the physical data centers or the servers that I used to do earlier. So whenever I need something, be it compute power, storage, or database, I go to a vendor like Amazon Web Service or Azure or GCP, and all I do is, yeah, I'll launch that particular service in the cloud, so that I get what I need. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So and this gives you a lot more flexibility if you look at it from the firm standpoint. So in some cases, the customers might not even be in a position to gauge what servers or how much of a compute power they might probably need for the next 1 year. Okay, so they don't have to care about buying, owning, and maintaining the physical data centers and servers. All they have to do is go to a cloud vendor, get whatever they need, and pay for whatever they use. As simple as that. And it is precisely for this reason that cloud computing has become so famous, because it's a win-win situation for both the firms as well as the vendors providing those services like Amazon, uh, Azure, Oracle, or a Google Cloud. Okay, because they do it at scale. It is their business. It is one of their main business. So they do it at scale. They build huge data centers, and they would host many clients in a similar data center so that they could offer offer the services at a very competitive price than you buy, own, and maintain those services. So you would save quite a bit of amount in there as well. Okay, so we'll talk about the advantages in the next slide. And yes, as cloud computing has grown in popularity, there are some cloud computing models that have come up. Different models are available, and different deployment, and firms are also following different deployment strategies to suit their requirements. We'll focus more about this in the third and fourth slide. And yeah, so the deployment model that you use, or the model that you cloud computing model that you use, and the deployment strategy that you pick up for your firm, it determines the level of control that you probably have on the cloud, on your infrastructure. Okay, so we'll talk more about this particular point in the next few slides. So before we talk about the cloud computing models, what are the key advantages of cloud computing? Of course, the reduced IT costs. Companies can convert this capital expenditure into operational expenditure, and this is quite important. So companies need not spend those millions of dollars upfront, or tens of thousands of dollars, or maybe lakhs of dollars upfront, to buy those servers or the infrastructure that they need to host their IT infrastructure. Instead, what they can do is they can sign up, they can use the cloud computing or leverage cloud computing, and they can, by doing so, they can convert the capital expenditure into operational expenditure. So what that means is companies need not set up their own infrastructure on premise. Instead, they can sign up for an Oracle cloud account, or maybe AWS cloud account, or a GCP cloud account. And what they could do is they could launch the services they need in that particular cloud. Okay, be it AWS or other vendor. And at the end of the month, the vendor will send you a bill like this is you have used this much of compute power, this much database service, and you have used this much of a storage, and this is the bill that you need to pay. And what you do is it turns into a monthly expenditure for you, which is rather considered as an operational expenditure rather than a capital expenditure. So think of companies saving millions of dollars upfront, and what they could do, they could very well put this plow this investment back into the business itself. That is one of the main advantage that companies get. Okay, and the price of, and yes, the IT cost would be reduced dramatically. Okay, since the companies can convert the capital expenditure or upfront expenditure into a monthly bill or an operational expenditure. And another key advantage that companies get with cloud computing is the scalability. So for example, be it any business, the demand for the IT resources would not be same all through the year. So it goes up and down depending on the season, depending on the business that you're operating. So for example, if, you might see a demand going up during the year end, during the Christmas, or maybe during the New Year celebrations, or it could be an year end in case you're running an auditing firm. So maybe during the March, if it is a business based out of India. So for every business, there would be the requirement of IT resources will keep changing or keep fluctuating. They might go up and down as you with a time period, and in some cases, yeah, you will have to scale up and scale down the infrastructure that you would need. Okay, and you should be able to do it pretty quickly, and the cloud computing gives you the power that you need. Okay, gives you that power to scale up or scale down the business, or scale down the IT resources that you need within minutes. Okay, so if, say for example, I'm running a business and I want to launch, say for example, I'm running a marketing campaign, and I've launched a website in AWS. Okay, and I know that I'm launching a marketing campaign which would get 10 times of the visitors that I usually get on a monthly basis. So what can I do to meet that demand? What I can do is I can quickly scale up the resources to support the traffic that might come in through the front door. So what you could do is you could scale up the compute power that your website is or requires, or any other application that is exposed to the customers for that matter requires. So you could quickly scale up and scale down the IT resources by doing it. You could do it manually, and you could also come up with the scripts which will take care of it automatically on your behalf. So this flexibility that the companies get in terms of scalability is another very critical factor as to why companies are moving into cloud. So if companies imagine the life without cloud computing, the companies would have to invest in the servers whenever they have to ramp it up, and they have to sell them off if they want to if they want to scale it down. So you don't need to get into all that business now with cloud computing in place. Okay, so that's another advantage. And the third key advantage is a data security. So there would be vendors working round the clock on your behalf to keep your data secure, be it AWS or Azure or any other cloud platform. So they know how to keep your data secure. They will use the highest possible standards available in the security market available at the moment, and they will keep your data secure. You don't so that you could sleep well. And apart from that, yes, if you need the collaboration efficiency, say for example, if you have a project running across multiple locations, and if you want to uh, give all those parties access to the files or the servers at the same time, you could achieve that collaboration efficiency with the help of cloud computing. It's not that you cannot achieve this with the help of on-premise infrastructure. You could do that as well, but it will be slightly better in terms of cloud, or if it is in cloud. And of course, a low maintenance cost. You only pay for what you use. If you use an EC2 instance only for an hour, you pay only for it, and nothing more or nothing less. So that's another advantage. In the cloud computing models, there are three popular models available in the market. So you could get a software as a service. So this is like vendors offer the entire software as a service to the customers. So the customers can sign up for that a SaaS product. It's a complete product or a finished product, such as the Oracle ERP cloud or SAP cloud, or it could be as simple as a web-based email, such as a Gmail or other email applications. So it's a complete software that is being offered as a service, and all you have to do is sign up for that software with that particular vendor, and you go ahead and use it. And how do you basically launch it? You probably get a URL from the vendor service provider, and you access the service software as a service with the help of that URL. And of course, there will be authentication mechanism in place. Okay, and yeah, this will be fine if you just want to get a piece of software and use it out of the box or use it as is. But in some cases, yes, the clients would also have to do some build activity. They might want to build some applications to support their own firms. In such case, what you do is you get platform as a service from the cloud vendor. So you get platform as a service on top of which companies can build their own applications. So when we say platform, you get the required compute power, networking, and you will have operating system installed on top of it. And it's like vendors build a platform and they will offer it as a service to you, so that you could focus on the build, manage, and deployment of applications rather than managing the platform as such. So it's like you focus on the core bit that you want to do as a business, rather than verifying whether the service is up and running or not, or you need not worry about the underlying infrastructure, because there is another firm or there is a vendor who will be taking care of it for you. And you will typically use this model when you want to do some application development and you need control over the data. And another model that you have is infrastructure as a service, and this is like a plain infrastructure that you get from the cloud vendor. Like if you need servers or if you need storage, if you want say gigs or terabytes of storage, you could sign up for that. Or if you need a networking capabilities or a databases, then you could get that infrastructure as a service, and you could use that as a firm. And companies typically use IaaS to migrate their IT infrastructure into the cloud. Okay, so if they have say 200 or 300 servers on premise, when they want to move to cloud, all they do is, yeah, they get infrastructure as a service, and they launch servers, and they move their servers from on premise into the cloud application. And when it comes to deployment models, how does clients use the cloud computing to or how are clients making the best use of this? Some of the clients move completely to the cloud. So it's like a pure cloud model wherein you have all the IT infrastructure in cloud, taking full advantage of the cloud computing. So it could be like companies you are using an ERP product or a CRM cloud application. Or in some cases, the companies have a hybrid data model wherein some of the infrastructure of the client is sitting in cloud and some of it is still lying on premise. This is a possibility when the clients have just started off with their cloud journey, because what normally clients do is they don't move, or the customers do it, they don't wake up one morning and say that, yeah, let's move everything to cloud. So in case clients start their cloud journey at the or they have just started the cloud journey, they would probably want to see if the cloud really works for them. So the way they do it is they move some of their infrastructure, maybe 20 or 30% of it, into cloud to see if it really works, or e- uh, to figure out for themselves if they really get those advantages that we are seeing in this slide. And once they are convinced, they will probably move everything else also into the cloud. Until the time, they might have the hybrid model. And you still have some companies, as we speak, yes, you do have some companies who still have all their IT infrastructure on premise. And all we could say is these companies are losing out on the benefits of the cloud computing. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I hope I've given you a good understanding about the cloud computing. And in the next few videos, we'll start logging into the AWS account and we'll perform hands-on exercises. Thank you very much for watching this video. In case you're interested in AWS training offered by Unogeeks, please call us on this number or send a WhatsApp message. We do respond promptly. And in case you have any questions about the training, AWS training in specific, please drop a line on this email account, info@unogeeks.com. Thank you.